I feel like most people don't really get slice of life anime. Or, well, at least most casual anime fans. They look at it as just this moe, school, boring genre. Because, I mean, I get it. There are no giant fight scenes, or dragons, or elf titties. But I do think it's a genre worth talking about. Because it can tell different stories. Or, it can tell them in different ways. So, like, with a fantasy show, it can be kind of hard to do really down-to-earth character drama stuff because, well, you have the appeal of doing giant fight scenes and lasers and swords and all that fun stuff. So, I want to talk about probably my favorite slice-of-life arc, at least, which is the character development of Rikka Takanashi in Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. So, Rikka's a pretty interesting character, because when she's introduced, she is literally the iconic Chunibyo. Like, I don't think I can stress this enough to people who haven't seen the show, just how generic and... she defined what a Chunibyo is to the modern anime fan. And fucking, like, she rolls into the show literally on her fucking heelys, with her arm bandaged, wearing an eye patch, spouting off anime jargon, just full-blown, like, even if no one had defined... the show opens with a definition of what a Chunibyo is, but even if they didn't do that, like... the viewer would understand just by watching this girl. And she plays such a stark contrast to the average slice-of-life girl who's just, I'm cute and proper and moe, and she's like, I'm all of those things, but also firmly believe myself to be possessed by Satan. And it's just really fun watching her. She does all these cute things, she plays off very well from all of the other characters, like the main character, Yuta. He doesn't want to be a Chunibyo anymore. He was in middle school, fucked up his social life, he's like, nah bruh, I'm done with that. Or, I'm blanking on her name, Mori Summer. Fuck, this is unscripted by the way. So, anyway, all of these characters are kind of just over it, or otherwise, you know, ordinary people who have no Chunibyo in them. And then there's Rikka. And also to a lesser extent Dekamori, but I'll get to that in a minute. And Rikka's just... she's completely unabashedly open with the fact that she is a Chunibyo, she loves it, she loves all of that shit. Like, believing in the occult is basically her religion, and it is great. And you don't really question why she does it, until a certain arc later in the show. But first let's talk about some of the weird things that kinda clue you in, especially on a second view, of just how good that everything was set up for her character development. So when we meet Rikka, she just moved in with her older sister. And this is a bit weird, because one, her older sister's not that old. And two, her older sister's, like, never fucking home. Like, seriously, the only time we see her there is in the middle of the night, or presumably she gets days off. But Rikka even mentions her sister's just not around much. So why would she agree to take care of her little sister if she's not gonna be there? And then also, there's a scene where Rikka is changing her email, so it can be more fun and edgy and cool and stuff. And she mentions that all she really has to do is tell Yuta and Dekamori and her sister, and that's it. And let's get to Dekamori now. So, Rikka, she doesn't have many friends. Like I just said, she only have to tell like 3 people. And of those, one is some random kid she met at school, her sister, and then a friend she made online, which, for being the weird kid, and I hate that term but I'm gonna use it, it makes sense that she doesn't have many friends, and the ones she does, well, primarily are just people she met online. And I love that characterization, because that is reality for a lot of kids. You just fucking, the people you're around suck. And they don't get it, and they're nothing like you, and you make friends online who are, and it's wonderful. And Rikka and Dekamori's friendship, despite this weird master-servant thing, is actually just really wholesome and fun to watch. Like, they're literally the definition of the last 2 brain cells. They want to fucking go on adventures and quests, and by God, they're gonna fucking do it. And so the show is really bubbly and light and fun, until Rikka goes home. So there's an arc towards the end of the first season where they head to Rikka's hometown. And this arc is so well done because she isn't acting like herself. Normally she's still got this weird paranoid, you know, evil organization bureau thing is out to kill me. But this time she's a lot more somber and isolated. She keeps cutting herself off from her friends and just going and trying to do stuff on her own. And throughout this arc, We watch as she's desperately like, I do not want to be around here. I don't want to be involved. Fucking my grandma thinks I'm playing pirate. This is just not cool. No one gets me. I fucking hate my hometown. And then you learn why. Because Rikka isn't being a Chunibyo just because, haha, fun, weird, quirky girl. It's a coping mechanism. Because her dad died and she had no fucking clue what was gonna happen. You see, when her father got sick, she was still pretty young. So he just never had anyone tell her. And so to her, he died in the blink of a fucking eye. And she can't accept that. So she literally blocks off her view of the world. Just cuts it right in fucking half with an eye patch. And goes on with her life pretending that some evil organization is taking him away. Because, fuck, that makes more sense than, well, Dad just didn't want me to know he's sick. And so she dives deeper and deeper into this Chunibyo persona. And it's a really interesting case of, what now? Once Yuta learns that this is all just a possibly very unhealthy coping mechanism, because, like, she can't even accept that her old house is gone. What should he do? Well, after a talk with Rikka's older sister, and the fact that she wants, or is, moving to Italy to go pursue a job, he tells her to take her eye patch off. And she listens. And we get to see what happens when someone who isn't ready to step away from their coping mechanisms and abandon their childhood has it all stripped away at once. Because the thing is, Rikka wasn't really being childish. It was just her way of processing reality to handle all of this shit. And for anyone to just tell her to stop, it breaks her a bit. We see her become a very, very timid character, and we got flashes of this earlier. Moments where especially early when she first met Yuta, she just can't comprehend why anyone would not want to be Chunibyo, and why she just kind of gives in to people. And now that's all she has. She doesn't even remember how to, like, talk to people, or what's considered normal to have. And so she just decides to throw everything away. She doesn't even know what, plushies or little knickknacks she can keep. And it's really just destroys you, and the show does this so well by actually changing the fucking color palette for these episodes. Everything's washed out and a bit more gray, and just, it feels hopeless. And Rikka, this very headstrong, kind of chaotic spitfire of a character, is just a doormat. And she just does whatever it is she's told with no real questions. Oh, should I leave? Yeah, fuck it. Oh, accept my father's death? Alright. And eventually, everyone kind of realizes just how fucked up this is. Not her family. They're all kind of like, oh yeah, we've got the real girl back. But her friends, the people who've really got to know her over the course of a school year, it hurts all of them. Even the ones who, like, don't care about the Chunibyo stuff and are really embarrassed by it, or were literally never Chunibyo, they can't sit back and just let this girl have herself stolen from her. And you get this wonderful moment where Yuta, who this whole season has gone, nope, I'm not a Chunibyo anymore, it's stupid, I fucking hate this shit, gives in. And in that moment, we get to see Rikka go, oh, this is okay. I don't need to be ashamed of this. And she still accepts her father's death. In a very heartfelt scene, she screams her goodbye to him. But then she puts the eye patch back on. She stays a Chunibyo because it is a coping mechanism, but also it's her fucking hobby. And I really love how this show demonstrates that you can both rely on something to keep your head on straight, but also just enjoy it. Because that's how a lot of anime fans feel. At least from my personal experience. It can be something to help you escape from the shitty reality of whatever is going on in your life. But also, it's just fun. And really, who doesn't want to slide around in some sick-ass fucking heelys?